is Diane Carlson Evans. My rank when I went in was second lieutenant. I was promoted to first lieutenant and then captain. So I left as a captain in the Army Nurse Corps, and I served from 1966 to 1972. I grew up in Minnesota on a dairy farm. My oldest brother was in the military. My second brother, next oldest brother, was drafted. And I was very curious about what was going on in Vietnam. And I think something was stirring inside of me that I need to go there. When I was a junior, I found a nurse recruiter in Minneapolis, and there was this one poster that said, "The most beautiful girl in the world, a U.S. Army nurse." And I thought, that's good propaganda. I mean, that's pretty cool. That was such a juxtaposition from the 6 o'clock news. And on the 6 o'clock news, there were never, all those years that I watched the news, there was never an image of a nurse or women in Vietnam, never. We were seeing just the men. But I thought there must be nurses there. So that's why when I went to inquire, are they sending nurses to Vietnam? And she said, absolutely, and there's a shortage. And when I left Washington, D.C., it was July 68, and the town was smoking, and we had Tent City, and the mall where we're standing right now was covered with people. There were war protesters, and I knew very well that the war was being protested and a lot of anti-war sentiment, but I didn't know that it was anti-soldier sentiment. And so I arrived in Vietnam on August 1st, 1968, and we fly into Vung Tau to the 36th Evacuation Hospital, which was my first assignment, and I see big red crosses. And as I'm hopping out of the helicopter, the door gunner says, "Good luck, ma'am, and keep your head down." And that was his words to me. But there's certain things you never forget. When I got my orders, everybody said, "Oh, you're so lucky. It's on the South China Sea. It's beautiful." And so I thought, oh, good, I'm going to be on the ocean. And it was beautiful. It was an interesting 6 months there. When you come back from a war zone, I think it's a way of surviving. You try to forget it all. Like, I'm just going to put that behind me. And you have to do that to move forward with what you're doing in your life. But there's always certain memories that are triggered by something that happens. There's that one patient, and that one patient is what you remember. And as a nurse, when you're with a dying patient, there's really only one thing you can do, and that's hold their hand and be with them. But the first thing you do as a nurse is you ask them to squeeze your hand. If you hear me, hold my hand. Squeeze my hand as tight as you can. And he did. It wasn't a tight squeeze, but I could tell he heard me. So he gave my hand this little, So I knew he was hearing me, and I just kept talking to him. The strongest emotion that I had, that I felt, was I was angry that his mother wasn't here with him, and how wrong that was. And that I was the one that knew her son was dead, and she didn't. But in Vietnam, we were there with him. And I think that memory, that I wished his mother had been there, that she deserved to be there with him, and that I was the one that knew he had passed away, and I wanted that mother to know that I was there with him. He didn't die alone.